Check. 1 2 1 2. Let me get this music off. Hopefully the sound levels are clean. Let me adjust this microphone. All right, my people. My people, first things first. My peoples come first, and my peoples here, no longer here. Thought of, remembered, always thought of. This is gonna be a short and sweet show. It's gonna be a short and sweet show. I've been loving the feedback, the interaction. Those of you that have been commenting live shows, those of you that have been doing it post shows, appreciate it. If you haven't caught this live, also those of you that have been liking it, subscribing. I mean, we're getting there. We're getting there. All right. That 1K is getting there slowly, but at least I know my day ones, those that mess with me, are there right now. So much appreciated. Of course, I start my live and I have a call. 1 second. Apologies on that one. That was a call I could not accept. Now, apologies, everybody in the comments. Much love, and I was saying, my day ones are much appreciated. I'm going to keep the show nice and concise, and we're about 5 minutes in, a little bit of an intro. But if you're new, this is what we do: one question for 15 minutes. Can you see the connection? 115. One question for 15 minutes. 115. And today's question seems fitting, seems appropriate, and Spurs, big things going on right now. Big things going on right now. And we're going to study a few things because I think there's a lot that has been said, and Spurs don't quite get that love. And I already know what's Vader doing. What's he doing? He's trying to do this karma, this reverse jinx thing. Now, listen, when you're going into battle, it's important to know your opponent. But I think it's important to know this opponent that happens to be Tottenham Spurs, not just what they do on the pitch, but what they mean as a club. And we're gonna put the spotlight on them. And I see all the comments. The first comment, I am gonna shout out the first. Every time, every show, the first in the building, the one that's like, "Yo, Vader, I'm with you. I'm messing with you. I like the show." Here, let me put a comment out from the bat, from the beginning. And I wish YouTube was able to kind of point out who was the first to like the video. I mean, we can kind of game the system. So the first person to put an actual comment, whether it's live or post or before I even go live, I'm assuming that first like is attributed to them. But in this case, my first like, I'm gonna say from the first person to hit this comment button and to be in the mix is Skills. Much love. Thanks for being on the show. I'm assuming that first like is you. Everybody else interacting, dropping a comment, those likes should be coming from you as well. But Skills, much appreciated. He goes, "Can Spurs do the unthinkable? LOL." Now, The unthinkable could mean a lot of different things because from a Spurs fans' point of view, the unthinkable would be to give Arsenal the league title by giving City a loss or drop points. That could be seen as the unthinkable skills. But we're gonna speak on a few things. Ange Masterclass. Here this guy goes. Staffy in the building, fraud o'clock. This guy, if you missed last night's show on American Waffle, go check this out. He just came off of a Manchester United loss to Arsenal. So he's helped contribute to Arsenal's attempt at winning this league, and he actually wants them to win. He wants Arsenal to win their 14th league title. He wants them to get that much closer, but at the same time, then he doesn't want City to get a fourth. So I guess he's picking his poison. We'll see. Skill says, "Come on, Spurs." Now I'm gonna get to the comments. Let me shout out my man on Twitter X, and if you're on Twitter X, go over to YouTube. Just go over to YouTube real quick on that other device. Hit that like button. Hit that comment. Patrick, much love to you, true City fan. His content is amazing. If you haven't subscribed, go and do that as well, and show some support to my guy. Always enjoy what he has to say. And I see you, Skills, in the comments. I'm also shout out Man Keenway, Afternoon Blues, and my man Vader. Much respect. Another amazing blue channel. Check that out as well. Subscribe. Are we nervous? Listen, we're not nervous, but let's talk about Spurs. Let's talk about Spurs because I think they get a lot of flack. I think they get talked to disrespectfully too often. And I think they need to be studied. They need to actually be, they should be a case study. They should be looked at. They should be analyzed. They should be dissected because there's not keeping Spurs away from being a real problem in this league, a real problem. And there's a few things that could happen that can derail your progression. There's a few things that can happen that can derail your brand, how you're perceived, what looms over players, what kind of label happens to fall on players. And this is a tricky game. There's a lot that hangs in the balance with this game. But I'm gonna point out why Spurs should be studied and dissected. And first, for the amount of criticism that this man gets. Actually, sorry, my bad. What am I doing? What am I doing? I should have done this from the jump. Let me get this going. Like I said, one question, 1-1-5. One question, 15 minutes. The clock is up. We're gonna get through this. Now. Ange, the signing of him, right? Bringing him on as a manager. Not many people knew about him. Not a lot of people had questions. A lot of people also doubt him. But I think if you looked and you said the manager that came into Spurs are going to have the laundry list of injuries to key players, is also going to have a season without their greatest goal scorer. One would also say creator in Harry Kane. That there's not really much to expect for the season. He started off the season on fire, right? Obviously, first 10 games, I believe they were leading the league. Things kind of fell off due to injuries, maybe style of play, getting accustomed to the entire league. And again, philosophy-wise, he's right to have it. He's right to know what he can do, what he can expect, what he can't expect from players with his philosophy. Because what do we see? What do we hear many other rivals say? Do I need to call them out? I won't call them out, but many rivals are saying, I want my manager to show me a style of play to be consistent. I was promised this. He's not doing that. I got another fan base that are saying, oh, we've signed all of these amazing young talent, but my manager, he can't seem to get it right. I want a style of play. I want something consistent. Everybody's looking for consistency, but then when it applies to Spurs, they're like, this guy's consistency is wrong. Let him figure it out. Obviously, he's got a very strong personality, strong approach, and it's better to know the most that you can get out of your style of play, your approach, and then what to scale back and adjust moving forward. But at least he has it, right? Right? United fans, Chelsea fans, things that you guys complain about a lot with your current manager, shouldn't really be applying that to this man. But the reason why Spurs need to be studied is because, let's be honest, Spurs fans, you're not going to want to hear this, but
Max, can you earmuff it for me? We are going to get so.
Okay, so hopefully Spurs fans are earmuffing this, but actually it doesn't matter. You know this. past few years, you haven't had much success. You haven't really had any success when it comes down to hardware. All right. When it comes down to consistently, I guess, playing far within some of these cup runs when it comes down to Champions League. Okay. But I want to point out a few things. And I'm gonna try and put this on screen actually. Let me do this. And I think if so I'm gonna use some Forbes numbers. Okay. I'm not gonna geek out. I'm not gonna get all nerdy, but listen, it's important to know because everybody wants to say, oh sorry, not everybody wants to say, I actually want to point this out. You can't, we know this, you can't have sustained success. You can't have you can't consistently be a threat to winning trophies, to winning the league without being financially strong, right? Go back in your league history. Look at when Arsenal were doing a madness. Tell me if they were doing it on purse strings. Go back and look at when Liverpool were doing their craziness. Tell me if they were penny pinching. Go do your Googles, do your search. Tell me if they were penny pinching when they were doing their winning. Go back and look at United when United were consistently killing it. It wasn't a farmers league then, but when they were winning, tell me, were they doing it on a budget? Now, Spurs, according to Forbes, I'm gonna pull this up. Spurs, according to Forbes, are the one, two, three, four, are the fifth. Do you see that? Fifth richest club. Fifth. Now, when you have something established like that, it has to be studied. It has to be looked at. It has to almost be, there has to be some credit there. Now, you obviously, United, revenue, madness. I'm not going to, the numbers are kind of there on the screen. I'm kind of blocking, but that's not the important thing here. It's not actually the exact numbers. Don't get hung up. Don't get in the weeds with the numbers. But just look at the fact that you have United, Liverpool, City, Chelsea, and then you have Spurs. You have Spurs ahead of Arsenal. The reason why this is important to look at is because Spurs are doing this with with no success. With no what all fans would say success is without trophies. Spurs are doing this. They've been doing this, right? So to be, and this isn't me. These are not my numbers. This is Forbes. Okay, you see it right there. You see it right there. Source Forbes. One of the richest clubs in the Prem, and they're doing this without winning. The problem is that they will be a problem when they get their act together, because financially they're there. Financially, they're doing better than Arsenal. Arsenal have won recently, right? FA Cup. They've been challenging 2 years in a row. Spurs need to be studied. They need to be looked at. And another thing that I also want to point out is because they've been doing this without winning, just wait until they go far in these cup runs. Just wait until they actually raise hardware. Even if it happens to be the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup, they're going to be a problem. They're going to be a problem. And this website is fantastic. It does a proper breakdown. It also goes into annual revenue earned from shirt sponsors. These are the deals. And again, these aren't today numbers. I'm going off 2022, 2023. Obviously, we're in the 2023, 2024 season. Actually, let me take this down, or let me at least move this when it comes down to the question of today. So let me move this out of the way. And for those of you new, not quite sure, these are other questions that I will answer in future shows. I have this on the screen just because you, the viewers, you in the chat, you guys can be part of the next show. You can see, yo, Vader, you know what? I need you to talk about this Trent, best right back in the world business. You know what I mean? Or Vader, I need you to really go and break down why FSG are the second best owners in the league. I need you to break that all down. Now, some of that information you'll kind of see here on why they are. But that's another question to be answered another time. Today, though, why Spurs should be studied. Should be studied on the pitch. There's a big game happening later on today, but also why Spurs are the problem. And rivals, London rivals aren't going to want to hear this, but look, annual revenue earned from shirt sponsorship deals. Manchester City, Etihad, you can see that. I'm kind of blocking the numbers here. Let me move out of the way. Let the screen adjust for it. I'm moving out of the way here. But you can see Manchester City. You can see Liverpool. You can see Manchester United. You see Spurs. And Spurs, Chelsea, Arsenal, all around the same number. But again, sponsorships, brands wanting to be associated with Spurs, wanting that visibility on and paying top dollar to clubs like Chelsea, who have won 2 UCLs more recently, and they've also won leagues. You look at Arsenal, they've won the leagues in past years. It's 20-year drought, but they've won leagues before. They've won FA Cups recently. From a shirt deal standpoint, look at what Spurs are able to do. Now, you couple that with winning, Spurs are a problem. Spurs need to be studied. And I'm going to point out one more thing before I go to the comments. And again, these are short conversations. One question, 115. One question, 15 minutes. But I hit the microphone. My bad here. Let me also point this out. And I'm not going to put this on screen, but do your research. Haters of Spurs, do your research. Rivals, do your homework. There's a nice website, and I'm not sharing the website because I'm actually working behind the scenes because I'm trying to get a little deal going on. But there's an excellent website. There's a few actually that can just reveal to you what clubs are spending with regards to salary, what they're spending with regards to their starters, their entire squad, right? And you can actually go back and see what they've been doing in past years. All you rivals, think about what your best players are getting weekly, annually. I think the highest paid player at Arsenal happens to be Kai Havertz, as disgusting as that is. I know he's playing well, but come on, he just got into there. He's the highest paid. I think the highest paid over at Manchester City happens to be KDB. I think the highest paid over at Chelsea, who would be it's probably Sterling. Sterling's probably the highest paid over there. Liverpool, most likely Mo Salah. Believe it or not, I think over at United, it's probably Casemiro. It's something ridiculous, right? They don't go over there to play for the badge. They go over there for a check. But believe it or not, Spurs. Actually, did I mention? I didn't mention Arsenal. Sorry, Arsenal. I think Arsenal's highest paid. Yeah. It's Kai Havertz. It's Kai Havertz. But Spurs, believe it or not, it's Heung-min Son. Highest paid. He's the highest paid, deservingly so. But that's not the important thing. Look at what he's getting. Look at what he's getting as the highest paid at Spurs to what the highest paid at Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, City. Look at what they are getting paid. Spurs need to be studied because when that light bulb switches even a fraction to invest more, look, they're already a top 5 club, spending the way they're spending compared to the others, compared to us. When they just open the valve a little more, right? Let a little more trickle out. Ange is onto something. And that's what I want to point out today. I want to point this out today with regards to Spurs. They need to be looked at with a little less stank face, with a little less Spurs are bottlers. I mean, we know what the owners are doing. There's a reason why I don't say Levy over there, and they're one of the top owners. But when they do make a slight change to be aggressive with regards to winning, it is going to be a problem. And this upcoming game now, I'm going to speak on this a little bit. This upcoming game is huge. Rivals want to say, rivals to, let me say this. Supporters of Arsenal winning the league want to say that, Spurs are professional. They're not going to be laying down, dropping this game because they have something to play for. They have a chance at Champions League. These players are going to be playing for all those type of bonuses. They still go to play in front of their fans. It's still the fans that are there rooting them and cheering for them, supporting them. Don't piss off the fans. That's all I'm going to say. Don't piss off the fans. Quickly, I'm going to go to some of these comments. Vader goes, Vader, can you name me 100 Manchester City forward players? Please, asking for a friend. Martin, I choose not to answer that question at this present time. 100 would actually exceed this time of show, but that's a bonus show, and I will put, I'll put that into one of these questions. What are the 100 players that Vader can name on show? I'll do that. I like that. Now that's inside joke for those of you that may have missed it. I'm going to start asking rivals the same question. 100%, 100%. But we don't got to play that game. Let me also go to. Hold on. Asku in the building. Been a minute. He goes, Spurs turned up at the right time. That run with Poch from 2015-19 is the reason why they are part of the Big Six. This also coincides with the Prem blowing up financially. It's true. I mean, with success comes increased support, comes revenue opportunities. And again, I just wanted to point out two things. I could even go back. I mean, this report that I have on screen can also go and point out like attendance and match going revenue, all that stuff. But the important thing is to point out is they're having financial success. They're having increased fan support. They're having increased numbers without it equating to winning. And when I say winning, I mean hardware. I mean plain and simple, showing the armpits. Spurs have been able to do this without that. And they've been so close without spending like the rest. And shout out to my man Pep. Pep recently, it's all over on the timeline where he's addressing that City's success has been because they've been big spenders. He pointed out the last 5 years, City have not been the big spenders. And then you know what rivals want to say to be all cheeky? Oh, they had to spend to bridge the gap to catch up to City. Well, what did City have to do when they were trying to catch you originally? Ah, the hypocrites. Hypocrites. Listen, Pep, I'm going to find out. Pep, trust me. Pep, I'm going to find out what your handle is on Twitter. I'm going to find out what your handle is on YouTube. I'm not sure who you are within the comments, and thank you for all the support. I'm going to find out because you fight the same battles in the press conferences that I know you hear myself and other City fans have to do within these Twitter X Spaces and YouTube, and it's much appreciated. Let me also point out, Skills goes, remember they compared Hoyland to Holland? Yeah, dumb. Skills, that's dumb, man. We don't have to worry about that. Talk about Hoyland. You want Hoyland to be talked about on future shows? All right, that's a possibility. Let's see how this season plays out. Which players would you take from this current Arsenal team? Which players would I take to be a starter? There's a reason why we put a bid in for Rice. Honestly, there's a reason why we put in a bid in for Rice. And that ship has sailed. No longer City material. He didn't want the challenge of being challenged to not necessarily play in the position that he's played in. I think Pep would have put it on him with different instructions, different responsibilities. He didn't want it. And now that you didn't want it, I don't want you to hear it. But in terms of skill set, there's a reason why we wanted Rice. Ray wants to say, Vader, I'm just nervous about tonight's game. Spurs always perform against us for some reason. Doesn't matter their players, but I think If we score first, we will beat Spurs. I think we have a good chance of controlling the game better than we have in the past. I am anticipating that Pep probably does a Kovacic and Rodri in terms of just containing, because I don't think we need to really play very aggressive or quick. Whether Ange has the high line or adjusts slightly, I just want control because I think we can create enough scoring opportunities. Um, the nervousness is natural, man. 2 games left. 2 games left and a chance at history. 4. Those of you listening and not watching, I'm holding up 4 fingers. We have a chance at history, a 4-peat. And that's something I don't care whether you're a new Manchester City fan, whether you're an old school Manchester City fan, whether you've been a fan before the takeover, after, it doesn't matter. No one has ever thought of this club winning 4 in a row. No one. And we have a chance at doing that. It's going to be amazing. Oh, Don Smoke is asking for the link. Don, this is a quick one, my man. Love, I'm gonna send you, because after this show, we're going right to pitch points with a preview. So hopefully you got time for that one. We're gonna head over there in about 2 minutes, actually. TJ in the building, TJ Arsenal fan. Big up Vader, great jacket. Yo, much respect, TJ. Important game tonight. I know you. Let me know if you're watching. Maybe you're not watching. Maybe you're just gonna be listening. Maybe you're gonna have your app ready, all the notifications. But I want to say this: every one of you, I see 78 of you right now interacting live on the show. It's appreciated. I want you to do this before I have to redirect to my man Pitch Points and his preview for the Spurs game. Hit the like button. If you're on Twitter X, take a second. Take a second. Close this app down. Yeah, I'm not saying much. Close this app down. Go to YouTube. Find me on YouTube. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. And those of you on YouTube right now, sometimes you forget. I know you're in the conversation. You're multitasking. You put the phone down. Put the device down. Come back to it. Hit that like button. All right. TJ goes. He's watching. All right. TJ is watching. All right. I will be watching as well. Big game today. Spurs got a lot to deal with. Does it really help them if they were to win this game because they're going to be that much better to make it the Champions League? Is it important for them to win this game because they're going to be a strong enough team to go far in Champions League? Not quite sure. Ray goes, I'm curious to see how Arsenal will be affected if we win the league in the last day. Trust me, it ain't going to be easy. It's not. And we'll see how they adjust, because they clowned on Liverpool for many, many years for how they finished within the league. Now, I'm going to shoot over. Much respect. Don Smoke wants to say, I'll take Saka as left back. Oh, yo, Don Smoke with the smoke right now. Listen, let me do this real quick, because I want to shoot everybody over to my man Pitch Points. So I'm going to do this as we speak. The support from everyone's been tremendous. Spurs, do you piss off a fan base by giving Arsenal the title by having City drop points, or do you play and happen to lose? I'm not saying you lose on purpose. I'm not saying you do any of that, but do you take this opportunity, as my man Jacob and I were speaking about the other day? Do you take this opportunity and maybe develop some young talent to be better prepared for next season? Do you do that? Okay, let me copy this. So everyone in the comments right now, I'm just sharing. He's not live yet, but I'm sharing the link even before he has a chance to go live. True City Fan Pitch Points. Go over to the channel, hit the like button, say Vader sent you or 115 sent you, whatever you want to do, but please show love over there. Don Smoke, I love that comment. He would take Saka at left back over at Manchester City. Skill says he'd love Odegaard. Not mad at that. He'd have a lot of competition. Odegaard would have a lot of competition, but maybe he would be challenged with his versatility as well, with regards to that one. But bless to everyone big game. There's gonna be a lot of shows this week. There's going to be a lot of shows. Why Always Me is going to be going. I'm working on that and what I want to discuss, as well as going into Final Sunday. So don't miss any of it. Don't miss any of it. Subscribe to this channel. The content's going to be tremendous moving forward. And yeah, the numbers have been great. I appreciate everyone. Vader Games out. I'm not even counting the episodes, but this is 115, one question, 50 minutes. Why Tottenham Spurs should be studied. Hey, they're going to be a problem moving forward. And be a problem moving forward. Not today, but moving forward. I'm Vader Games. I'm out.